This isn't a full review yet, but a quick unboxing and first impressions video of Supernote's latest portfolio update. Remember to like and subscribe to not miss the full review. So right off the bat, you can already see from the packaging that this isn't your ordinary tablet. The unique packaging is separating the different components of my order in 3 compartments and already offers a hint of Supernote's knack for finding unique solutions, an aspect that's also apparent in the design of the tablet's hardware and software. But I'll come to that later. So let's unbox it. So here's the pen. The first thing I love about it is that they're adding an additional spare cap in the box in case I lose the one that's already on the pen. I bought the standard pen option, which seems to be only available from the European Supernote store. There are 4 other pen options available that include this heavy heart of metal pen, which has 32.5 grams and aims to mimic classic luxury pens. Compared to pens of other companies, 4 of these pens, including the 2 I have here, come with a ceramic nib, which is incredibly fine and doesn't need to be replaced. There are 2 options available for the Supernote Nomad, which is the white one and the crystal version. Even though it's 30 euros more, I just had to get the one with the crystal clear back cover. So let's see how that looks. So here's the tablet itself, and getting it out of its paper wrap, I notice a couple of things right away. First, there is a note to not remove the screen protector. This one features the new Feel Right 2 soft film, which aims to give a more natural writing feel. I'll check it out in a second. Turning the tablet, the back cover has a pretty obvious non-slip feel initially, but this luckily changes quickly with use because, to be honest, that almost sticky feel wasn't very pleasant. So all clear, and don't worry if you have the same experience in the first few minutes when unpacking the tablet. There's also a Phillips head screwdriver in here to open up the back cover and get access to the microSD card slot and the battery. I'll open this a bit later, but first let's just appreciate how cool this back cover looks. I mean, you will most likely not see it that often, but still, I personally love having this transparent look on here. Fun fact, I did something very similar on the old Samsung Galaxy S6, where you were able to remove the coating of the glass back cover to give it that transparent look. But that ended up not looking as nice as I thought it would, and ended up gathering a lot of dust and lint from having it in my pocket all the time. So that will definitely be interesting to see how well the Supernote Nomad holds up in everyday use when putting it in the bag regularly. Under the quick start guide with its nice don't panic reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's also a USB-C cable in the box. And last but not least, there is also the folio, which is available in white and blue. I got the blue version simply because I suspect the white one will quickly look a bit dirty when handling it every day. So inside we have these 2 magnets right here, which hold the device. Both color versions are made of vegan leather, which feels quite nice, and also the inside microfiber material feels incredibly nice to the touch. The magnets hold the Supernote A6X2 in place quite easily, so right off I have no concerns of it sliding out of the cover. There are 2 things I don't like, however, which is the front cover not staying closed by itself. The cover has a sleep function, so the tablet goes into standby and wakes up when closing and opening the cover. I just wished they also added the magnet so it doesn't just flip open holding it at an angle. The second thing that's not ideal is the combination of the pen loop and the standard pen I've got here. That feels a bit too loose for my taste, so if you're in the EU and get the Supernote Nomad, get one of the other pen options if you believe it might bother you as well. Because the heart of metal pen fits so much better. But I suspect that's a price you have to pay to make it compatible with different pen shapes and sizes. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so taking a look around the tablet, as I mentioned, don't peel off that screen protector. Same as the mentioned stickiness of the back cover, that front also has this non-slip feel at first. So my fingers didn't glide as smoothly over the surface, but tend to stick a bit. But as I also mentioned, a bit later, that goes away within the first few hours of handling the device. You can still feel the texture of the Feel Right tool protector, which aims to mimic the feeling you'd get on paper. More on that in a moment. What's also super interesting about it is its soft finish. This isn't a hardened screen protector that aims to withstand scratches, but it's a self-recovering soft film that's working as advertised. At least the grooves my nails left healed within a couple of seconds. This soft finish also gives a completely different writing feel than any other note-taking tablet on the market. With a weight of 266 grams, it lies well in the hand and is easy to hold. So I suspect it will do pretty well in day-to-day use when holding it for longer periods of time. A closer look at the transparent back cover highlights the modularity of the device. While removing the back cover just to see how it works, let's quickly talk about the specs. So as I mentioned, it got a 7.8-inch eink screen with a resolution of 300 ppi. The one thing I'm already sure I'll miss is when using the tablet a bit more is the front light. Supernote, same as Remarkable, chose not to integrate a front light to keep the experience as close to paper as possible. With a front light, you need an additional layer on the eink screen which increases the space between the pen tip and the screen, making the writing experience a bit less natural as a consequence. So while you can't argue with that logic, personally I would have taken the trade-off simply because it would give a bit more flexibility when using the tablet. So an additional front lid option would have been nice in my opinion. But back to topic. The Supernote Nomad is powered by a quad-core Rockchip CPU with up to 1.8 GHz and 4 gigs of RAM. The internal storage is 32 gigs, of which around 23 gigs are usable. As we can see here, there's a microSD card slot available, so if that's not enough, you can pop off the back cover and put a card in here. The Supernote A6X2 runs a customized version of Android 11. And when I say customized, I mean heavily optimized for note-taking, and not like the open Android experience that you'd find on a box tablet. Still, it's a nice option to have, because with a bit of tinkering, it might still be possible to sideload your own apps. But we'll have to see about that in the full review. Right now, there are 2 additional apps available in the official store, which is a sketching app and the Kindle app. And on Reddit, a Supernote representative said they are working on supporting sideloading officially at one point. So let's wait and see. Okay, so let's turn it on and finish the first setup with the startup tutorial. So the first thing you need to know about the Supernote A6X2 is that right now it only supports English, Japanese, Chinese simplified, and traditional as languages for the user interface. But you have the option to change the handwriting recognition and keyboard language in the settings later on. What I'd like to see in the future is also European server location. So right now I can choose between China and the US only. Next, we connect the device to a Wi-Fi network and adjust the date and time if necessary. The device gives you an option to opt in to usage and diagnostic data transfer, which I really do appreciate that it's disabled by default. And after that, the note-taking setup and on-screen quick start guide starts. I'm selecting the option for right-handed use, and now it guides me through the most basic options of the user interface, which is definitely a great thing to have as a first-time Supernote user, because as I mentioned, this isn't your typical Android tablet, but it's optimized for note-taking, and Supernote wasn't shy in implementing different solutions here. Speaking about being different, Supernote is developing their software with community feedback and interaction. There are publicly available roadmaps that show what's planned or in development. And as far as I know, no other company in the e-ink space is this transparent when it comes to their devices. Okay, back to the Supernote Nomad. We have the sidebar here to open the main menu, and now it guides us through the process of quickly creating a new note. The other sidebar allows other useful gestures as well, as I'll show you in a moment. At this point, I could stop the startup guide or continue with the introduction. So let's continue to get a couple of more insights into the system. So after the quick tool summary, it shows us how to hide and show the toolbar. But you obviously don't need to tap exactly at those spots as I did. And next we can also move the toolbar to the top of the screen, for example. And that's it with the first setup. So let's finally quickly also check how the writing feels with the ceramic pen tip on the textured soft screen protector. So as I mentioned, the screen protector had this non-slip feeling to it at first, which made the first writing test a bit unsatisfactory, to be honest, because the pen didn't glide as smoothly over the screen, but rather had a slightly sticky movement. But as I said before, that somewhat slip-resistant quality changed within the first hour of using the Supernote A6X2. I'm not exactly sure what was the reason for it, maybe the cold or it's just the untouched plastic, but if you're in the same boat as me and find the first handling a bit weird, don't just send it back, but just keep using it for a bit and that goes away pretty quickly. It honestly makes a huge difference and the pen slides over the screen so effortlessly now that writing really feels pretty nice. And the textured Feel Right 2 surface really makes a huge difference compared to the previous generation. I have a Supernote A5X here, which I never came around to finish the review for, unfortunately, but the difference is really striking. Instead of the super smooth gel pen-like feeling, it now gives a more paper-like feedback. But I'll have to use it a bit more and compare it to other tablets as well to give a final verdict. In terms of its functions, the user interface is optimized for note-taking, and the second sidebar I mentioned before is a useful addition that helps in navigating the UI, like holding the bar with 2 fingers to select and remove contents on the screen, or sliding up and down to undo and redo. All in all, the Supernote A6X2 feels like a very well thought out evolution, and I'm genuinely looking forward to use it over the next few weeks for the detailed full review. Like and subscribe to not miss that. Thanks for your time watching and see you in the next one.